ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Pantera. Are they slop or are they not? We're going to figure out, looking at 4 factors. We're going to look at if people are going to call them slop or not based off of what is slop. We're going to figure that out, right? Then we're going to look at how to detect slop, right? Then we're going to look at how much of the catalog is slop or otherwise. And then we're going to look at, are they talented outside of that? Because some people are going to care more about that, and they're going to call them slop if they just don't like that they're not talented in one area or another. And then last, we're going to figure out, are people going to call them slop or not based off of those different things. So without further ado, let's get into it. What is slop? So here we have the music matrix. We're going to see energy from 1 to 11, Spinal Tap reference, and catching this from 0 to 10. Now, energy is pretty easy to observe, right? If something causes a mosh pit, probably in this high energy range. If it causes people to dance, maybe in this range, right? And if it causes people to go to sleep, probably in this range. It's pretty obvious, right, to observe. Catchiness, on the other hand, a little more ambiguous. But now, what is slop, you're asking, okay? So if you're not a fan of, let's say, this low energy music, medium, high, and high energy music, if you're not a fan of metal and it's not catchy, you're going to call it slop. If it's high energy, really high energy, and it's not catchy, you're going to call it slop if you don't like metal, right? If you don't like anything high energy and it's not catchy, you're going to call that band or that song or whatever, you're going to call it slop, right? And if you don't like low energy stuff in general, you prefer high energy stuff, and if it's not catchy and it's low energy, you're going to call it slop, right? So anything below a 7 catchy is below the slop line. This is the slop cutoff, catchiness cutoff. This is the slop zone. And then anything above the energy, that's the difference between pop and rock. High energy catchy gets called rock. Low energy gets called pop. Now, you might be wondering, what if it's something that's like a good metal song, right? It's high energy first, and then can add, people can call it rock and metal. Think Crazy Train might be called a metal song, something around here, probably like an 8. And then it's really catchy, so it gets called rock and metal, right? That's a lot of, those like classic metal songs. Then if you look at maybe like Metallica, might be like a 9, right? Give me fuel, give it fire, right? That's really catchy and high energy, right? So that's kind of how you look at that, right? Now, how do we detect catchiness? Because this was easy to observe. Catchiness is a little more ambiguous. We're going to go to our next chart. This is number 2. How do we detect slop when the catchiness is below a 7? Let's pray to friggin' God this works without me having to euthanize, I guess, someone. I don't know who I'd euthanize, but I'd find someone and I'd euthanize them. And so let's just see if I don't have to do that, because I'd rather not have to do that. And I'm getting really angry looking at that. I'm going to have to tape that up, and I want to go to bed. And so that's going to be fun. Let's look at this. Catchiness index. We can look at predictability. We can look at catchiness. And so basically, if something's really catchiness is determined by a lot of things, but predictability is the easiest way to get a good gauge of where things are at. If something's completely corny, like a Joe Bonamassa song, it's guaranteed to be slop. If something's completely incoherent, like most of the Mars Volta's catalog, it's guaranteed to be slop. If something's between balanced, like Back in Black, and zany, like Bohemian Rhapsody, it has a chance at being hit quality, a chance at being just for fans of that music or that artist, only fans, and it has a chance of still, once again, being slop, and small chance of being a smash hit. Being in the money zone is not guaranteed it's a smash hit, but it's the only place those do occur. Now, this is hit quality, not exactly a hit itself. This is interesting because, if you take a really good song like maybe like Master Puppets or Enter Sandman, if that was released by an unknown band and didn't culturally become a hit, it would still be a hit quality song even if it never took off. So we're looking at the quality. Could this song be for everyone, or is it just for fans, or is it for no one, not even fans, right? So when we look at distributions, this is a relative ratio. This is the catalog audit to figure out how much slop is in their catalog, right? If we're looking at Motorhead, Slayer, or Zappa, they're more of an OnlyFans type thing where it's mostly just that stuff that's only for fans. Not many hits, but also not a lot of slop. You're going to need a lot of mileage if you're a fan of that style or that artist. Hits or quits is going to be like Weezer. It's going to be like Queen, where they have a lot of music that's for everyone. It's just really undeniably catchy. Even if you don't like that style, you will have to admit it's catchy, right? And just total garbage that just no one's listening to, not even fans, right? A 50-50-50, more like a 50-50 split, is going to be, one album of slop or a couple albums of slop, the same number of really good stuff for fans, and the same number of just iconic stuff everyone's going to like. That's more like Led Zeppelin, 9 Inch Nails, right? One Hit Wonders, Faith No More doesn't belong there, but they do have a similar shape to that with their distribution, a lot of like garbage. But, and just okay stuff that I get annoyed by. Less than 50-50, Limp Bizkit, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, David Bowie. It's mostly unlistenable garbage. There's a little bit of stuff that's good for if you like that genre or that fan. And then there's a few hits. Even though there's a lot of David Bowie hits relative to the amount of other stuff he's put out, it's mostly garbage. Now, classic catalog, this is kind of the best case scenario to be in. This is where you've got the Beatles, Metallica, Daft Punk, Rage Against the Machine. I put kind of like, maybe like Megadeth, Arctic Monkeys. I like those bands. And I think they've got mostly hits. That's stuff for everyone, right? Barring that you don't just block out anything that's in the metal or punk or indie zone of energy. If you're okay for that energy zone, a lot of stuff that's just super catchy. If you really like that artist, there's less, but mostly the stuff really good, and there's very, very few duds. If I'm going Pantera, I'm thinking it's going to look like this, where if anything, it's going to be like 2/3 is really catchy, and 1/3 is for fans, right? But the third that people say is for fans and that isn't as catchy is going to change depending on the fans. If you're the people who are the rock fans, you're going to say the stuff that is lower energy, but still, that's less metal, that's more in the punk energy range, but still catchy. You're going to say that's the third. That's the also good third. And then the third that is high energy and not that catchy, but is still like in the metal zone. That's the third you're going to say is okay. But the metal people who like metal, everyone's going to agree on the 1/3 of really catchy and metal songs. But then that's where I think the metal people who like metal more and they like punk is awful and gay or whatever, they're going to say that third is different third. But in general, everyone's going to say probably a classic catalog. The reason I say it's important is people are tending, if people are going to call a band slop, even though they have a really good catalog, like Metallica, if someone calls Metallica slop, it's just because they don't like metal, right? It's because they don't like that energy level. It's actually more of a reflection of them than if the band is slop or not. So when you see that catalog audit, if someone says Pantera is going to be slop based off of those things, right, it's because they don't like metal. If you like metal, if you're open to metal, you're probably not going to say Pantera slop, right? If you actually listen through full songs and give them 2, 3, 4 listens, because some things you need to just get used to first, and then you can actually evaluate if it's good or bad, right? So brand, historical, present impact, the aesthetic, the stage design. I don't like all of the aesthetic per se, but it's very strong. It's very well defined. Southern metal thing. They did a really good job there. So they get a green, which means good. Yes. So this musician. So this is if you just saw the T-shirt on a rack at a store. Is there enough aura for Kim Kardashian to want to wear it and be like, oh, it's Metallica. They're a good clothing brand, right? That's a cool clothing brand. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that category. For just people who care about that, they're going to say it's good, right? These are the 3 major quadrants that people look for outside of just, is the band catchy? And is it in the energy level I like? Now, musicianship, this kind of comes down to, if I am playing the guitar, or I'm a singer, or I'm a bassist, or I'm a drummer, am I going to hear a song or two by this band and go, oh my God, that's so good. I need to learn those parts. I need to learn these riffs and add it to my vocabulary. And I'm going to say, yeah, it's for all of them, right? For Pantera. Give it a green. They're excellent. Excellent. Green means excellent. Yellow means mid, and red means bad, which means slop, right? Songwriting, though, I will say yellow-green is probably okay. They have really good stuff. They have some stuff where I'm like, this is long-winded and goes nowhere. It's somehow, unpredictable and corny in a way that balances to be in the money zone but still ends up being slop. But that's not often with them. That's not most of it. It's usually not slop. It's usually just for fan stuff. Lyrics they're okay. I'll leave that there. That's from the last band, but still. Riff's amazing, tone's amazing, solo's amazing, chords. So overall, they're getting like green, maybe a yellow here. But if they're excellent, and then pretty darn good, no matter what quadrant you care about, they're kind of a 3-quadrant band. They talk about a 4-quadrant movie being a blockbuster because it's got romance for women, it's got comedy, it's got action, and it's got a really good plot for the people who like good writing, right? So that'd be like 4 different quadrants. And so it's like, okay, most people are going to like it, right? So they're hoping that for Superman. Superman might be up by the time you're watching this. And I'm excited. I got tickets July 8th, 2 days early. I'm so pumped. I really hope it's good. So now we get to look at the final verdict. Do we think people are going to say Pantera is slop or not? You can tell based off of this so far, it's trending towards a not slop. But we could be stealing defeat from the jaws of victory. Don't count it out. Now let's take a look at. So when most people go, they go, okay, is the band slop or are they not? Right? Most people go, what in general is the energy and the catchiness I think of when I think of this band? Right? It's like, oh, it's a low level. Float sets the dawn of time. Respect. Walk. What do you mean? Now, people usually don't go off of one song. They usually don't average the whole catalog. But in their head, they think in general, which to them is their 10 maybe top songs they think of, which usually is the ones they like the most. And they kind of average that. So here's my top 10. Also, I'm going to mark down their talents are good. Their songs are good. Their brand is good. And their catalog is a classic catalog like that, right? But I would say in general, the controversy is going to be low. But I would say it might be medium because based off of 3-quadrant band and based off of a catalog analysis and based off of a slop analysis we're going to do here in terms of a top 10 analysis, they're all going to be consistent with it not being slop. Some people, because you're going to see, they're going to be up in this metal zone, like solid in the metal zone, not in like the punk metal zone, like Metallica might be. Metallica might be like here, but like end up averaging like right about there. Pantera, depending on how you pick, I pick. So we'll see. Based off of my songs, because I'm more on the rock side, I'll compromise on energy to get catchiness more in my third that I pick or my top 10. Other people might pick more. So I think if you look at my average energy and someone else's top 10 average energy, it's probably going to put them closer to a 9. I put them like an 8.2, I think it says, or an 8.4, yeah. Someone else might put them in a 9.4. It's probably going to be a 9. When things are solid in this 9 to 11 range on energy, people are just not going to like it because they can't handle that energy level because they're a weak loser who's dumb and they suck and they should die. Just kidding. I kind of do all energy and vibes. I do feel that way, like emotionally, logically. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm just like freaking loser. What? You don't want energy? What are you, a weak loser? But some people just can't handle it. That's fine. Not everyone needs to be like super like. Rah! But I like that. I like being grr. So let's look at my top 10. I did fucking hostile. We stand alone. Right. Never left necessarily alone. No else, no live. Friggin' Cowboys from hell. Hell, yeah. Walk. Respect. What are you talking about? Let me think. I gotta try and get my vocals on point. It's like the 9th video I've done today. I'm broken. It's domination. And there's love. There's love. There's love. Cemetery Gates, and then Suicide Note Part 2, bro, come on. Someone commented that on the video. I had to check it out. I was like, bro, that's a good one. Mouth for War's good. Hello, level! Hello, level! I'm like not there today. I can't do it. I push my fingers into ice. It's the only thing that slowly touches the ache. But it's trainable. I can't do the metal vocals right now. I'm struggling on that. But 7.5 on catchiness. So right, so they make it past the thing, right? So they're pop. Well, they kind of are poppy for metal, right? Because that's the energy level is going to be an 8.4, and then 7.5, 8.4 and 7.5, and then I'm going to show you kind of based off the catalog and distribution why we're going to get with controversy level between different people saying slop or not, right? So I'm going to go put them in an 8.4. Also need to see how jacked I am. Just had a jacked reminder for the video. Let's see the flat spread. Let's see. There you go. See the chest. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Oh, snatched, as the girls would say. Anyways, Latinas hit me up. Now look at my guitar. Anyways. Now that that's out of the way, yeah. What are you, Yahweh? Listen to me. Shiznit, my digger. Flip. Okay, 8.4. Freaking underwear is chafing. It's because of my massive log. Lincoln. I pooped. 8.4 on terms of energy. I'm going to put Metallica. Pantera. Pantera, darling. If you're Latina, hit me up. Austin, Texas. Hit me up. Latina. It took a lot of life out of me. Okay, so Pantera, we're gonna. I need to do my Duolingo. I'm learning Spanish for the lit. I push my fingers into Latinas. Grinch face in chat. I push my fingers into Latinas. That's the only thing that slowly stops the ache. On the train of all Latinas I can take. Jesus, it never ends. It works its way inside. And the pain goes on. Oh, Lord God, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't sing right now. It's like midnight. Midnight at the Apollo. Flip. Gosh, I'm so tired. Schizo breakdown. Here's what happens. If I get too late with these videos, I start just tweaking. I'm losing it. It's not even about Pantera anymore. I'm losing it. I swear to gosh and heck. Buy. I'm buying BlackRock. I'm buying Vanguard. I'm buying State Street. BVS, baby. Batman v Superman. I need a jersey with that on it. Friggin' BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. We need to rig the entire U.S. economy to impoverish the working class so that we can pump up the asset prices of the stock market via BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. We need to use the deep state, the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, and we need to use all of these assets to basically rig the entirety of every other country's political and economic status quo, such that the multinational corporations that vaguely are based in the U.S. Can have their stock prices go up. And that's where we're going to rig the entire world economy around. So it's like, okay, well, then put all your money into those stocks and put your money into real estate, which is the loophole for which you can use to not pay taxes. Rich people rely on that in the U.S. And so because of that, those real estate loopholes need to stay there. So you might as well put your money into real estate, which is also getting inflated for BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street to make money along with the stock market. So not only buy those stocks, but also buy real estate yourself. Smart-wise, of course. But it's like put all your money into that stuff. If the entire U.S. government, who else is allied, who has a mutual assured interest in making, they will destroy the entire world and nuke the entire planet before they let BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street stock price go down. I will be doing well. If the world goes to nuclear hell, that means I have nothing left anyways, because there's no more BlackRock, Vanguard, or State Street. So what's the point of being around? I chimped out. Now, I'm a 190 IQ Jew, okay? I'm just joking around. I'm just joshing you. Finger into your eyes. Latina. Finger into your Latina. God. Dios míos. Ay, ay. ¿Cómo están? Well, I want to do this in second person. ¿Cómo estás? Hola, 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 ¿cómo estás? I can do all sorts of. I practice all of these when I'm learning Espanol, because you need to know how to articulate and go down and go up and get your no boy. Latina, come on, all together now. That biscuit, kick it to the Matthews Bridge. Generation, way down. I don't give a. I kicked my light. No, I'm feeling fine actually. I'm just like now. I'm just like tired. Whoa! I don't want to miss my Duolingo. Dude, stop recording. I'm gonna finish this video up for you. I don't even know where to put the marker. Oh no! So people. Okay, so other people are gonna put it up here and put it farther into the. It's either gonna be like here or here, depending on what you like. But it's gonna be either rock or metal. I'm gonna put it here where it's rock and metal. Other people are gonna put it here. Same with Slipknot. Similar thing with Slipknot and Pantera with where it gets put. But people who just can't stand high energy, who only like stuff that's in this range, or maybe go up to a 6 for Cage Elephant, and that's their. And I don't mean the first two Cage Elephant records, the ones that are really punky that are like at an 8. They're kind of punk metal, and some of the songs on Thank You Happy Birthday, like Sell Yourself, is really aggressive on the energy compared to other stuff. But I mean, the people who just like indie pop, they're going to be, I can't listen to it. Anyways, I did my Duolingo. What are you doing? Get out of here. Get out of here and let's see what Latina, hit me up. Hit me up. Okay. Okay. Next video is probably going to be like Van Halen or something. I don't know. What are you, stupid? You should watch it. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I love you. I love you. Parasocial, 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 parasocial relationship with